Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there. How are you doing? This was Safe from Porker's Corner, the biggest gob in sport. We say the things on here that everybody wants to say. And if you want to come and say anything on here, just get in touch. porkycorner@mail.com. It's bottom corner on one of these on the screen there. porkycorner@mail.com. It's not hard to remember, is it? Send me an email. You can say your bit on here. And if you do the most views in November on Zoom, you win yourself a century. That's a round of drinks these days, isn't it, with prices? A lot's gone on in boxing, and we're going to get through the scripts accordingly over the next 2 to 3 weeks. There is some corkers to come out. Oh, God. Oh, Sam Jones. Get ready. Dylan White, the can man, get ready. Ginger Armpits from Denby. You better get ready. I've got a corker for you. That's why I needed a bit of time off. So I could let smoke come off these Sharpie pens. Isn't that right, Andy? Who's not from Aberdeen? Right. Here's a little one here for you, boys and girls. Here's a little good one for you. Right. The Tony Bellew Bricktop divorce. Are they still divorced? I'm not so sure, you know. Well, I've heard little whispers around the campfire that Eddie Hills were giving Bricktop a reach around at Turkey's dinner. Isn't that right, Eddie? And you know what you were doing, Eddie? Oh, don't for a pound, no, you Eddie, you brass. When Eddie were giving people reach arounds and Bricktop, Tony Bellew must have been sat at home thinking, how can that be? How can that be? How come after everything Eddie Hills has told me, Tony Bellew, what's gone on with the Warrens and the Hearns over the years, how can all of a sudden these people, how can they do that? Is that in it? How? How can they do that to boxing fans? I can't get that out of my head, me. See, I have a big problem with things like that. Yeah, we all make mistakes, don't we, in life? And we get punished severely for it, don't we? But these don't seem to get punished. It's just a bit of a laugh, isn't it? It's like that Cordina situation. Who broke the news on that? Me. I broke the news on that weeks and weeks ago. And nobody still wants to speak about it. We've even got Carl Froch putting videos out, getting 200,000 views overnight for it, or whatever he got for it. People just, they don't want to push them buttons with Eddie Hills, do they? Why is that? Why is it when a fighter gets shit on from high heights and it's the promoter's fault, nobody wants to talk about it? The boxer makes a mistake in camp with his weight or sparring or where he's got to come out and be told what to say and you've got to say this and PR damage limitation, this and that. But we don't get it from other half, do we? I don't know. It is what it is, isn't it? But if Tony Bellew has got a problem with Bricktop and Eddie Hills being pals and earning a few quid, Tony, don't take things to heart. It's business, isn't it? There's people here that Kevin has to deal with certain things, and I always think, God, them again. So how come you're speaking to them? Well, we've got a business to run. See, I'm not like that. But everybody else is, aren't they? So they'll put, it's like, I used to know some boxing people around here. They come and sit in here, or in that office there. And we'd talk boxing. And I'd be like, brilliant. I like their opinions. But then you sit and listen to the same people's opinions over a period of time, and you think, what are you talking shit for? They didn't used to talk that in here. Now, people will do the best they can for themselves in boxing. You know, I pulled this certain person. I said, hey, what were all that over there? That's seen on that interview you did. He went, well, I've got to do it better than my fighters. I went, hey, you weren't giving it that sat in my office. And I used to back Dennis into a corner many times on that. Many times. Dennis, how come they've just been in here today? I've just heard everything that you say about them. Why are we having them in here today? Well, you know, sometimes you've got to do. Load of rubbish! Load of rubbish! Where I'm from, scabs in the miners' strike were dragged out of bed naked in front of the families. Naked. They were in bedroom on their hands and knees running for their lives. That's where I'm from. Then we've got a few mile further up road, Dennis there, we've got to look best. And if I to bloke with 50 mil, do me a favour. Got to do best for you, Dennis, to get you on the telly so you can make it, it's about you. It's like every other fucking promoter in the country. They make it about them. It's not about Bricktop and Eddie Hills and Big Ron with his bubbling stories. It's about the fucking fighters. Jeez. Winds me up. It ain't about Bricktop and Tony Bellew. You're not fighting no more, Tony. If Bricktop wants to work with Eddie Hills, he will. You're not his keeper. But I can see where you're coming from, Tony. You feel like Eddie's stuck one in your back, don't you? He will do that to you 20 times before you wake up. Ask some other fighters from Matchroom who gets on with Eddie Hills once they're done. In fact, I was talking to somebody the other day, I'm not going to say who, but we're both sat there having a tete-a-tete. And I said, out of everybody, who does Big Ron get on with after 27 years of being a boxing promoter? Who does Big Ron get on with now? Who is promoted? Who? Is somebody going to tell me Ricky Hatton? Come on, Ron. Come on, Ron. Hey, you and Ricky Hatton will work together, Big Ron. As long as you get a good few quid out of them. Let me say you have to be mates, does it? There's no mates in boxing, so Tony Bellew, stop moaning to people that Eddie's a two-faced so-and-so. Don't make out that you didn't see it coming. If Eddie could go to bed with Bricktop for £1 million, he would. Do you understand, Tony Bellew? He would. So stop running around telling the chosen few that Eddie's two-faced and blah-de-blah and that there's no down for you in Saudi. They're in anyway because Bricktop's running the show. Tony, you got greedy. But what I'm going to say on here is this. I'm going to apologise for all them years that I said that Tony Bellew only beat 3 world champions. He didn't. He beat Alundu Makabu for a vacant belt, but he went on to win one. He beat Nathan Cleverly in a stinker at cruiserweight, dragged him up 25 pounds. And other one, David A. But he beat David A twice, so it was 4 not 3, Tony. But you never took a belt off a champion, Tony. I just thought I'd let you know about that. But in future, Tony, choose your words and choose your friends very careful. All right, because when you've got people like Eddie Hills and they get a chance for a bit of glory, a bit of fame and a bit of extra money, all that friendship goes out at window tone, doesn't it? Because if Eddie were really your mate, you would have a proper pundit job out there in Saudi, wouldn't you? Where there'd be perks for you, but we're not seeing you out there, are we, Tone? So if you've stood on and said you don't want to be Eddie Hills' mate, man, team Tony Bellew. But if you're running around snivelling about it, about your boyfriend, jumping in bed with Bricktop, I ain't got no sympathy for you, Tony. Do you know why? Because these people would go to bed with an anaconda for a bit of fame and a few quid. All right. So I'm glad you're about to find out the hard way. Tony Bellew. All right, 30 wins. Let's see, this is where I'm coming from here. Tony Bellew, 30 wins, 3 draws. Sorry, 3 defeats and a draw. So he had 34 fights. Frank Warren, up to today, in 44 years, has put on 685 shows, Tony. So he's had 685 paydays to your 34 paydays. All right, Tony. But before we go, Tony, I just want to let you know that you and your big mate, Paul Smith, in with big tits, double D cut Paul Smith, 44 double D, old hairy back. Well, you an old hairy back, earlier on in your careers, you were boxing on Bricktop shows that were sponsored by the Sun newspaper. You remember that, don't you? Because Frank had a column in the Sun, didn't it? Not ring aprons in corner, it says the Sun, the Sun, the Sun, the Sun. Then we've got Tony Bellew and Paul Smith from Liverpool, who are anti-Sun newspaper. If you don't believe me, go speak to O'Hara Davis. They are anti-Sun newspaper, mainly because of Hillsborough. Sadly, 97 people lost their lives, and the Sun newspaper didn't cover themselves in glory. Did you, Kelvin McKenzie? I remember all that. I remember it all. Now, we know O'Hara Davis got kicked out of the matchroom because the Liverpool Mafia were sticking the knife in, don't they? But when you look at Paul Smith and Tony Bellew fighting on Sun newspaper sponsored shows, I think that people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Do you think that, Tony? A bit like when you had that press conference in Nathan Cleverly and you kept going, you've never beat a champion, you've never beat a champion, you've never beat a champion. You know what they did though, didn't he? But you didn't take a belt off a champion, no, did you? Tony! So I'll just thought I'll finish up on that. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. It's been an eventful first day back. Everybody's enjoyed it. And there's more to come. Oh, yeah. There's more to come. All right. Go on, peace out.